If you own an Apollo, your world is divided into two distinct parts. Before you knew exactly which UAD EQ to use in the console for your vocalist, and after, stop guessing, stop wasting time. The truth is, most studio producers are hemorrhaging their precious DSP on plugins that belong in the mixing phase, not the zero latency tracking phase. They're missing the $1 million secret of instant committable radio ready vocal tone. And that is why you are here. This isn't just a list, this is a deep dive, no bullshit ranking of the 25 UAD EQ plugins, from the classic Neve strips to the modern surgical utilities, all judged solely on their performance as a real-time zero-latency vocal tracking tool inside the console app. We are talking about the plugins that shape the sound before your signal even hits your door. We're prioritizing DSP, efficiency, musicality, and sheer ability to flatter a vocalist in their headphones. This is the DSP efficient, low latency, commit to tone cheat sheet that you have been waiting for. We are ranking them from S tier through to D tier. And by the end of this video, I promise you this, and it's the ultimate payoff. I'm not just telling you the S tier winner. I'm giving you the exact frequency moves, gain staging secrets, and signal flows from the single best 2 vocal chain plugins that will instantly make your artist sound so much better, like 10 times better, and hand your mixing engineer a perfect track. Stick around, because that final S tier combination is the ultimate payoff for every Apollo owner. And leaving before the final verdict means leaving analog gold on the table. Let's get started. Let's establish the ground rules. When we talk about vocal tracking in the UAD console, 90% of the plugins on the list are already disqualified. Why? Well, because the UAD console workflow imposes 3 non-negotiable criteria that define a true tracking master. 1. Zero latency commitment, the Unison imperative. When tracking, your priority is zero latency. This requires leveraging the Apollo's DSP chips. An S-tier EQ must either be a Unison-capable preamp or EQ, like the Neve or API console strips, or it needs to be extremely light on DSP, like an insert EQ. The Unison slot is the gold standard. It models the electrical impedance and gain staging of the physical hardware, making the microphone behave like it's already plugged into a vintage 1073. If an EQ lives outside the Unison slot, it's already fighting a tougher battle for DSP. We are looking for efficiency because the Apollo's chips are finite, especially if you have a solo like me. Next up, musicality over surgery. The feel factor. Listen, no singer wants to hear highly technical digital notch cut while they are performing. Surgical EQs are for the mix stage. A tracking EQ's job is to flatter the source and make the singer feel like they sound fantastic. We need those wide, buttery, inductor-based curves that add harmonic, excitement, and color. We are looking for Mojo, not mathematics. 3. A single knob utility, the Be Strong driver. Vocalists get frustrated by engineers spending minutes tweaking the Q frequency and gain. The best tracking EQs are simple, often with fixed or stepped frequency selections. A 10 kHz shelf, a fixed low-mid band, they force you to make bold, broad, and quick decisions. If I have to spend 5 minutes hunting for a problem, the creative flow is dead. D tier, the bench warmers, the inefficient and the obsolete. Let's cut the dead weight. immediately. If you are using these in console for tracking, you're either wasting your time or your DSP resources. They are amazing plugins, but for the specific task of vocals, they fail the test. Chandelier Limited Curve Bender Mastering EQ. The problem is a mastering EQ. What can I say? It's in the name. It's a mastering EQ designed for subtle global moves and massive sonic richness. It consumes monstrous DSP. You're tracking a monovocal, not a mastering finished track. It's sonic equivalent of a bulldozer to sweep a sidewalk. So here's my verdict. It's D tier. Save it for the mix bus, not the input strip. Manly Massive Passive EQ. Here's the thing. The Maag part is a gorgeous high DSP 4-band stereotube EQ. It's designed for broad musical strokes on buses or masters. While it sounds beautiful on vocals, using it on a mono tracking channel is deeply DSP inefficient. You'll max out a duo chip with like 2. It's too greedy for the console's limited DSP power. Here's my verdict. D tier. Inefficient power use. Brainworks VX Digital V3 EQ Collection. Wow, that was quick. It is a world-class MS mid-side EQ. The complexity and high DSP requirement for this MS decoding are completely wasted on the monovocal. Its sheer functionality and high band count make it an unnecessary, complex, and heavy tool for a simple source recording. Here's my verdict. D tier. Wrong tool for the job. Sonox Oxford Dynamic EQ. This is the definition of a post-production tool. Its purpose is to react to the varying dynamics of the vocal, which is the mixing decision. Its complexity and high DSP are fundamentally unsuited for a commit or monitor environment. Here's my verdict. D tier. Functionally mismatched. Cambridge EQ. It's a legacy plugin. It's clean, efficient, and was once a workhorse. But modern options like the Massenburg are significantly more powerful and feature-rich for surgical work. It's not bad, it's just obsolete. Here's my verdict. D tier. Outclassed and redundant. Let's move into C tier, the niche artists, the limited and the aggressive. Plugins are excellent, but they are specialists. They have a brilliant specific tone or function that makes them invaluable in certain scenarios only, but they aren't flexible enough to be your go-to every single day. They are your color palette additions. First one, Tonalux Tilt EQ. I have this thing for the fun lover in the room. It's all about speed. It has only one main knob that pivots the entire frequency spectrum around a user-defined frequency. For tracking, it's the ultimate if you just need a little brighter or darker tool. It's incredibly fast to use in the console for a quick overall tone adjustment. Perfect when a vocalist gives you immediate feedback, but it offers no surgical control. Here's my verdict. C tier. Brilliant speed, but too limited. Next up, Trident A-Range Classic Console EQ. This is the sound of aggression, known for its unique filter technology. The 10 kHz band boost is famous for its electricity. Here's the track in use. It's an awesome EQ for a raw, gritty punk or garage rock vocal. But the frequency choices are extremely fixed and the sound is intensely colored. It's a risky commitment for a pop or R&B session. Here's my verdict. Too aggressive and specialized for universal use. Next up, Harrison 32C SE Channel EQ. The Harrison is the unsung hero of the mid-range. Its filter technology is famous for its smooth musical slope, fantastic for taming honky frequencies. Here's where I use it for tracking. It excels at gently taming the problematic 1K to 4K range without sounding harsh. It is the perfect counterpoint to the more aggressive API. It deserves more love, but its presence is overshadowed by the Neve or API legacy. So here's my verdict. C tier. Underrated, but not a Unison staple. Maag Audio EQ4MS. The Maag is a one-trick pony, but that one trick is pure, gold-sounding vocals in the airband. The shelf operates from 2.5K up to 40K. Here's where I use it for tracking. This is where the essential plugin for adding effortless, non-sibilant top end clarity comes in. Its low DSP makes it a great second insert. We put this in C only because it only does high-end sparkle. It can't handle low-mid issues. So here's my verdict. C tier. Best airband, but limited functionality. Helios Type 69 preamp and EQ collection. I know I ranked this pretty low in my last video, but it is the sound of Led Zeppelin and Queen. It's darker, thicker, more unique vintage tone compared to something like a Neve. The preamp saturation is pretty it's very thick in the low mids, and the EQ is, well, simple with the fixed frequency points. So in tracking, the 10K high shelf is like the velvet. It's okay. And the 70 Hz low band is perfect for adding a bit more chest resonance. It is a specialist for that classic, slightly restrained 70s sound. I put this in C tier because its unique dark flavor and fixed frequency design are far too distinct and inflexible for universal A tier status. It is a specialized color, not a daily driver. So here's my verdict. C tier, unique color, but too specialized and dark for universal use. Next up, Hitsville EQ collection. This new collection is an amazing emulation of the Motown House EQ. It's passive, warm, and highly musical. In tracking, its fixed frequency points are highly specialized for that buttery Motown sound. It is a fantastic color, but its lack of variable frequency points makes it less adaptable than like our A-tier console strips for different vocalists or for problematic room acoustics. So here's my verdict. C tier. Great tone, limited flexibility. Let's go to B tier, the surgical strengths, the monitor mode MVPs. This B tier is essential for utility and safety. These are the EQs you place in the insert slot and set console to monitor mode. Why monitor mode, you might ask? Well, because you're not going to actually commit these to your DAW. You're just using these to clean up the signal before it hits the vocalist's headphones, or to make necessary deep cuts that you absolutely do not want to commit to. First one, Massenburg MDW-EQ5, Parametric EQ. George Massenburg's name is synonymous with clean, transparent digital surgical EQ. This is the sound of absolute precision. In tracking, this is a tool for finding and eliminating rogue room resonance, notching out a nasty 3K harshness on a budget microphone, or eliminating low-end rumble. It's the 40 decibel cut that sounds like nothing has changed. Exactly what you want for problem solving in a monitor path. It's the ultimate safety net EQ. So here's my verdict. B tier, the king of clean surgical cuts for monitoring. Next up, Sonox Oxford EQ. Another phenomenal flexible digital EQ known for its clean sound and multiple EQ types. CML, SSL, Neve models. The tracking use? Well, like the Massenburg, it's a great utility player for non-coloring corrections. Its interface is highly intuitive for making quick, transparent cuts in the console app. Its different models make it versatile for different correction styles. Here is my verdict. It's B tier. Near Massenburg transparency and flexibility. Next up, Precision EQ. The UAD branded utility knife. It is a solid, clean, all-digital EQ. In use, it's a reliable low DSP option for simple cuts and high-pass filtering during tracking. It's often included in bundles and gets the job done. Without really much of a feature set of the Massenburg, it's the functional no-frills option. Here's my verdict, B tier, pure, reliable utility. Let's move up to A tier now, the flexible console kings. The all-rounders, welcome to the big leagues. These EQs are Unison capable and they deliver tone in spades. They offer more flexibility than our S tier, and that makes them adaptable to more voices and genres. If the S tier is a one-size-fits-all perfection, the A tier is the tailored suit that fits almost everyone. First up, API 500 series EQ collection, 550A and 550B. API is the sound of American rock, country, and forward pop. The proportional Q design is its superpower. The more you boost or cut, the tighter the Q gets. This creates a signature, aggressive, punchy sound. I call this the aggression EQ. Use the 550B's 4-band to punch vocals through a dance mix. If you're tracking a rapper or a rock vocalist who needs to be loud, forward, and slightly gritty, the API delivers. This API is amazing, but slightly more aggressive and less universally buttery than our S tier winners, demanding a more specific genre use. My verdict, A tier, the king of punch and aggression. Next up, Neve 1084 preamp and EQ. The 1084 is the 1073's smarter, more versatile older brother. You get the same incredible Class A tone and Unison functionality, but with extra frequencies and critically a high Q setting on the mid band. For tracking, the added control pushes it out of the simple, broad stroke category, making it slightly slower to dial in than 1073, but giving it the flexibility to handle difficult vocalists with problematic mid-range frequencies. It retains the signature Neve harmonic density and warmth. It is the ultimate Neve utility EQ. So here's my verdict, A tier, the most versatile Neve, slightly sacrificing speed for control. Next up, Neve 31102 and 31102 SE, classic console EQs, and the Neve 1081, classic console EQ. These are the console EQs that came after the 1073, representing the evolution of Rupert Neve's design. The 1081 is often cited as king of surgical Neve cuts, with its 4 bands. For tracking, they all offer pristine, high-fidelity Neve tone and excellent Unison interaction. However, for sheer tracking mojo and universal popularity in the Unison slot, they are slightly edged out by the 1073 because the 1073 is simplicity and unique fixed frequencies are more immediately flattering to a wider range of voices. My verdict is that this goes in the A tier. Unmistakable Neve quality, but not the single most iconic choice. Let's move to the legendary S tiers. Okay, the moment of truth we've been waiting for. We've cut the fat. we've ranked the utility players, and we have selected the versatile A tiers. Now we are left with two titans of tracking EQ, the two plugins that when used together or separately define the sound of low latency vocal magic. This is the S tier, the analog gold standard. First up, Neve 1073 preamp and EQ collection. The Neve 1073 is the foundation. It is not just a plugin, it's a philosophy. It is the classic sound of almost every hit record from the 1970s onward. When you use a 1073 in the Unison slot, you are engaging with a virtual console input transformer. The magic is the subtle, non-linear harmonic distortion that the preamp adds when you drive it.
Silence we walk together, a broken path, a dotted line. This fighting becomes familiar.
For tracking, my secret for the 1073 is to put it in Unison, about 1.6K, the sweet spot. Add the Unison drive up at 1.6K. Use the input gain to drive the preamp. The key is to find the sweet spot before clipping. Just make sure the signal doesn't clip or come in too hot before it hits your door. The saturation is pure class A warmth. The high shelf air, set that to high shelf to about 12 kilohertz. Apply a 3 dB to 5 dB boost. Why? Well, the 12K is a wide, gentle frequency that adds air and sheen without triggering sibilance, which usually lives a bit lower. This single move makes the vocal sound instantly expensive in the artist's headphones. The high pass filter safety, use the HPF and set it to around 80 Hz or about 160 Hz, depending on this. Commit to it, make sure you commit this because you really never need that sub bass on vocal anyway, and this is a roll that prevents plosives from hitting your compressor too hard later. The 1073 is your foundation, your tone, your preamp color. It is the Swiss Army knife of iconic goodness, but it's only half of the ultimate S tier combination. The yin and the yang, Pultec EQ collection, EQP1A. If the 1073 is the weight, the Pultec is the polish and the silk. The EQ is the only other tool I would trust in the insert slot for tracking, especially for commitment. It's passive, tube-based design. It operates on completely different principles than the Neve's transistor design.
There's a fire in your eyes without a doubt. Broken heart builds a broken house, but can you survive the fallout?
When used together, they don't fight. They harmonize perfectly. For tracking, here's my secret, the Pultec polish formula. Load the EQP1A into the first insert slot after the 1073, set the high frequency selector to 10 kilohertz, or about 12 if you like. Now crank that boost knob up to 5. You already boosted it at around 12 kilohertz on the Neve. The Pultec now applies a wide musical tube-driven boost that stacks with the Neve's transistor high end. It creates a 3-dimensional depth to the air frequencies. It is magic. Now for the low end trick, I want you to put the EQP1A and go to the low frequencies section, select it at 100 Hz and simultaneously boost about 3 and attenuate by 5. This is the legendary Pultec trick. The interaction between the boost and cut creates a beautiful shelf that tightens the low end while adding a unique harmonic resonance. It gives the vocal weight without mud. Now, the ultimate S tier console chain. I call this my gift to you. Here it is, the ultimate payoff for every Apollo owner who tracks vocals. This chain uses minimal DSP, ensures zero latency, and captures a classic analog sound that is virtually irreversible in a good way. In the Unison slot, put the Neve 1073, the weight and the warmth. Use this for a preamp drive and add about 12 kilohertz. In your insert slot one, I want you to add Pultec EQP1A. Add some polish, use this for stacking air and the low end trick I told you about earlier. In your slot 2, this is optional, monitoring only. Massenburg MDWEQ5. This is your safety net. Use this in monitor mode only for any surgical cuts that may be needed, but I don't want you to commit them. This chain gives your vocal the warmth and weight of Neve plus the silky polished high of the Pultec, all with broad musical strokes that are incredibly fast to dial in. This is the sound of analog records, and it's exactly what you need to be committing to. This combination flatters almost every voice and genre. It makes your vocalist feel like a star and gives you an instant professional tone. And I mean, we're all looking for that, right? I promised you a cheat sheet and payoff, and that's it. The Neve 1073 Pultec EQP1A. They are the undisputed S-tier kings of UAD console vocal tracking. So there you have it. You now have the definitive, competitive, and high retention guide to the UAD EQ library for vocal tracking. Stop burning your money, your DSP, on D-tier plugins and start leveraging the surgical precision of the B-tier only for monitoring and the ultimate tone for S-tier commitment. Use the Neve for the weight, the Pultec for the silk, and let the console magic do the rest. Understanding the hierarchy isn't just about saving money, it's about optimizing your workflow and maximizing your creative output. The console app is a virtual analog desk, and you now know the perfect signal flow. So I'm also curious about you. What's your current go-to A-tier EQ to use in your Unison slot before you hit the compressor? Do you write it with the API punch or the 1084 flexibility? Let me know in the comments down below. If this video saved you even one frustrating hour of plugin auditioning, please hit that like button. It genuinely helps my channel grow. And subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.